So we're going to get right into it, and please bear with me if you don't understand me, because we'll slow down the video later. I actually took 4 shots of espresso coffee because I knew everyone wanted me to be quick about this. So, Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia. What is a militia, Louie?
A militia, according to even the legal definition by the United States government, is any able-bodied citizen from the ages of, 15 through 34? 15 or 16 through 34.
Correct. But during the time of our founding fathers were defined as just any able-bodied male. And that means that we even had 9-year-olds and 12-year-olds picking up rifles and killing British. Okay, we'll stop there. But a well-regulated militia composed of the body of the people, being the best security of a free state. Okay? That is what is called, according to Justice Scalia in District of Columbia versus Heller, in his writing, he said that is called the prefatory statement. So if you're discussing this with any of your progressive friends or whatever, and they want to talk about the militia and all that nonsense, you tell them that's the prefatory, that's just the opening statement. The actual right, which stands on its own, is that the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That right can stand by itself. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Well, unfortunately, because of our government and other people who have allowed it to be infringed over the years, we have the 1934 National Firearms Act, which has infringed our rights with regard to fully automatic weapons, short-barrel rifles, short-barrel shotguns, and suppressors. They call it the NFA, or the National Firearms Act. 1968, they had a Gun Control Act. 1986, they had a Firearm Owners Protection Act. I think if you have a firearm, you're pretty much protecting yourself, right? 1993, they had the Brady Handgun Violence Act. 1984, they had an assault weapons ban. And then, of course, the one that really has, in my opinion, perpetuated a lot of the problems that we have with school shootings, because they made schools gun-free zones, they called the Gun-Free School Zone Act. So isn't it amazing that since the Gun-Free School Zone Act, we've had more school shootings? That's where, these people, they just don't think. Anyway, just to kind of brief where we are today. Y'all may remember last year, the state legislature had a package of gun control legislation. Well, the Bloomberg, George Soros, gun control people, or Moms Across America, or those people, whatever, they put forward the same package to all 50 state legislatures, because if they figured they couldn't usurp the Second Amendment at the federal level, that they would attack it from the state level. Several states have, unfortunately, followed through and passed some of this nonsense. Fortunately, here in Louisiana, we've had some pretty good legislators and also some advocacy groups who have prevented a lot of this from coming forward. However, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Washington State, and several other leftist, anti-American leftist groups, states, have passed some different variances, and I'm just giving you a little brief overview of that, limiting the types of handguns that citizens can purchase their own. California actually has an approved handgun list, and most of your common semi-automatic weapons, like Kel-Tec and Rugers, Glocks, they're not even on the list. You can't even own that stuff in California. That's how far, away from the Second Amendment California has become. It's ridiculous. Criminalizing law-abiding gun owners. There was a city that passed an ordinance in Illinois, I believe it was, that actually criminalized anyone who owned a semi-automatic assault rifle. And they said that they had so many days to turn it in or they were going to be put in jail. Wow. I mean, how is that America? Are we in America anymore? Magazine capacity limitations. So you have certain states that have magazine capacity limitations. No more than 10 rounds in a magazine or 7 rounds in a magazine. But if you're being assaulted at a gas station by 3 criminals who don't follow the laws and they have 20-round magazines and you're with one 7-round magazine, you're going to be outgunned. I mean, they have no thought for law-abiding citizens. It's like, you know, they want to open the borders and let criminal, illegal aliens come in here and release them into our society and then take away our guns.
Law enforcement is already overrun and outgunned.
Yeah, our law enforcement's already outgunned by that. Another thing I saw recently was gun owner insurance. They're going to mandate you to have gun owner insurance. A permit. If you live in a free society, should you have to get a permit to own a firearm? Where does the whole idea of shall not be infringed, escape these people? Taxes on ammunition. They want to tax the ammunition because if they can't take away the guns, then they want to take away your ammo. The whole idea, look, the whole thing, we know all about the progressive candidates for president. We know about AOC and her nonsense. Whether it's a new Green Deal, green energy, healthcare, none of that is about the subject that they're talking about. It's empty words to them. It's all about power and control. That's all that the Democrats, that the anti-American progressives are looking for, is power and control, and they cannot have power and control as long as we, as free Americans, continue to keep our firearms. So keep your guns, keep the powder dry. Let me see. Here's another one came up. A review of buyers' social media. They would, and I'm a dealer. They would take away my, anybody look at my social media, it'd be scary. Then there's this one here. Red flag laws. Have y'all heard about red flag laws? You know what that is? Red flag laws is when the police or family members petition the state court to order the temporary removal of firearms for someone who may present a danger. So this is what we would call thought police. This is the thought police. This is the Minority Report where it's a pre-crime, right? So you're going to be judged on pre-crime before you commit a crime. And they want to do that. Now here's the bad part about it. They've already had a gentleman, I believe it's Maryland. He lost his life because he refused to give it up and the police shot him. I was debating some idiots on social media the other day, and they were saying something about, well, it's not unconstitutional until it goes before the court and the court decides it's unconstitutional. So how many lives have to be lost before it goes to court and before it's deemed unconstitutional? So we really have to be vigilant here as Tea Party members. And, Mary and Terry and as Tea Party members and members of the Louisiana Gun Association and all that stuff, we need to be vigilant and be aware when they try to push anything that is unconstitutional through our state legislature. We need to call them out. Because remember, I'm going to close with this. Every legislator takes an oath of office to protect, preserve, and uphold the Constitution of these United States of America and here the state of Louisiana. So if Troy Carter or one of those other leftists tries to push some sort of anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment bill, let me have it. I'm the pit bull. I'll get out the closet and come right at them because they should be removed from office for violating their oath of office and tried for sedition. Thank you all.
One-third of the 13 states that ratified the Constitution actually had their own state constitution, basically saying the same thing, that righted the people to keep and bear arms. So they can't say it was for the militia. And if it's for the militia, what's the militia for? It was so the states could go against the U.S. Well, then how come the federal government can take control of the National Guard?
Thank you. Yes, Louie is correct. The whole point of the Second Amendment was not about deer hunting. Our founding fathers didn't just get through going on a deer hunt when they wrote the Second Amendment. They just got through overthrowing a tyrannical government. And that's what the Second Amendment is for, is to protect liberty. Yes, sir.